Well, guys, one of the things we talk about all the time in our videos is how they try to self-insert themselves, right? Like writers, producers, directors in Hollywood, they try to self-insert themselves into the TV shows that they create, or they use the TV shows that they create to push ideologies and political worldviews. This is what they do all the time. They try to deny it, which is interesting. I don't know why they try to deny it, because it's so blatantly obvious. And then you have people who are on that particular side. They're like, no, this never happens. They're not trying to do that. Well, one of them finally came out and admitted that they actually do that. So the Witcher casting director just admitted that to use her job to affect change in viewers and manipulate their unconscious biases. Yes, the unconscious bias. It's a typical talking point from that particular side of the aisle. So we're going to get into the article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, just consider giving this video a like to push us out into the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing because we're on our way to 25,000 subscribers. So it says casting director Sophie Holland, who has worked on a number of big-name genre projects, including Netflix's Wednesday, The Witcher, Shadow and Bone, as well as Prime Video's The Peripheral, recently revealed how she uses her position to push her own political worldview. During an interview as part of General Riley's Acting Up newsletter that was subsequently published by Variety, Holland was first asked about which project confirmed she wanted to work in the field of casting. As part of her answer, she said, "I think the first time I felt like a casting director was when I worked on something called The Kill Team by Dan Krause, which was the story of American soldiers over Afghanistan. It was the first time I understood that casting wasn't just about finding beautiful people who could do the American accent convincingly, but that casting could have a real profound impact on the people watching it." Now again, this is not shocking information. I feel like there's a lot of people out there that genuinely don't realize or don't want to believe that they do this. But yes, directors, producers, writers, actors, they all do this in Hollywood. They use their positions of entertainment power to try to convince the masses of their own political worldview, which right now is heavily left-leaning, okay? It's like, it's all the way on the far left. It's not even like partial left. It's literally far left belief in ideology that they're pushing every single day, whether it's in TV shows, movies. Now they're trying to do it in video games. You got a ton of books out there. They control all of that stuff because they knew and they realized at some point in time within the last decade or so that entertainment and pop culture is the way to control the masses. And if they can garner that and take that over and utilize it properly, they're going to have people following their cause very quickly. And that's exactly what happened. So it says she later added, "You can affect change in whatever tiny way because you are in people's homes and they're watching this world." And that sort of solidified when I had a child. She's 5 now, and I thought how hard it is to be a girl. Oh, stop it. Stop it with the how hard it is to be a girl. Both sides are terrible when it comes to living out life, okay? Men have their own problems and women have their own problems, all right? Just because your particular problems are not experienced by men, you don't see us bitching about the shit you don't have to deal with being a man. You want to think that, oh, no, women do everything. No, that's not how it works. Men deal with a ton of shit that women will never even come close to realizing, just like women deal with a ton of shit that men would even come close to realizing. And at the end of the day, your problems are no worse than anybody else's. But the fact of the matter is they try to make themselves seem like some big time victims because they want to garner sympathy. It's always the woman's sympathy, right? Nobody ever has sympathy for a man, but when a woman has a problem, all of a sudden she's gonna have 10 simps in white armor try to come out and save her day. So it says, "I remember thinking I have to help her because she's going to come under attack, just like I did, just because she's a girl." Ooh, Holland elaborated. "Maybe she'll be lucky and get to 9 before somebody calls her a bitch. And it made me so sad that she was going to experience that, and I couldn't protect her from that. But what I could do is change the way people see women through casting. I can make them powerful and empowering, and then the floodgates will open to them," she asserted. The floodgates were already open to women, okay? It's just some took it and most didn't. That's essentially what it is. Women like to do very complacent jobs. They don't like to take risks very often. They like to do stuff that is easy, that's going to garner the most money, and with the least amount of work. That's essentially what a lot of women do. Now, that's not all, but that's just most. Hence the reason why a lot of the tough labor jobs are 99% men, right? Like, it's because men are the ones who are willing to do the dirty jobs. Men are the ones who are willing to do the actual real hard jobs, whether physically or whatever. They're the ones who are willing to do it to make their money, and they're going to make it regardless. Like, they know that life has to go on and they can't stay home bitching about how rough their day was. So they need to make the thing happen, and that's what they do. So it says Holland went on to reveal she applies this theory to every job she takes on. I do apply this theory to everything, and it makes me push boundaries a little harder because I think representation is important. Here we go with the representation nonsense. Not just for women, but all minority groups, like people who have different physical abilities, and I think it's important that they're seen in strong and fierce roles. Realizing this was a real moment of falling in love with my craft in a way that feels very specific to me, she said. I don't know why she puts women in the minority group when I'm almost positive that women outpopulate men, even if it's by a small percent. I'm pretty sure they're the majority. So why are they in the minority group? I'm not really sure. Again, it's just a desperate need to be a victim. It says Holland went on to specifically explain why she chose to race replace Yennefer in The Witcher. I am always the first to champion diversity in all its glory. One that springs to mind was the character of Yennefer on The Witcher. Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich is the showrunner, and we work so well together, and she's so open to conversations. In the book, she's described as the most beautiful woman in the world. This was a few years ago, and I like to think that things have changed, but when you think about people's unconscious biases, here we go, especially in the fantasy world, it felt like these worlds were predominantly white. And I remember saying, I feel like we need to challenge what people think of as a standard of beauty, and having a woman of color in this role does incredibly powerful things to the people watching, she admitted. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Like, there aren't black people walking around saying, oh my god, Yennefer was dark-skinned. Or Yennefer was slightly dark. She's not even dark-skinned. She's like light-skinned dark. There's nobody that's going around and saying my day, my life, everything about my existence is now better that they race swapped Yennefer in The Witcher. Like, nobody's doing that. And you want to say that, oh, it's predominantly white? Well, guess what? That's because the creators of these worlds are predominantly white. Yes, this is what's considered white people shit. Fantasy and all that, like nerdy shit, it's considered white people stuff. Most black people would tell you that it's considered to be white people stuff. That's not to say that they don't enjoy it, but I'm just saying, yes, predominantly it is made by white people. Just like most anime and manga is created by Japanese people, by Asian people. Yes, they are created by certain groups of people. But I don't see you trying to race swap those characters, and that's because those people are smart enough to gatekeep their shit and not let idiots like you come into it and try to diversify everything for the sake of diversity and not actually adding anything to the story whatsoever other than woke points for you to talk about in stupid articles and interviews like this. So it really just goes to show where their mindset is and how useless it is in Hollywood. And that's why Hollywood being on strike like it is right now, and the actors and the writers being on strike, it's a good thing. It's a good thing because it's going to allow Hollywood to completely collapse from under itself and be rebuilt. So it says, author Andrzej Sapkowski described Yennefer in The Last Wish. A pale, triangular face, violet eyes, and narrow, slightly contorted lips appeared beneath the black tresses. She and apparently Hissrich clearly chose to cast an actress, in this case, Chalotra, that did not look like how the character was depicted in Sapkowski's original works, and she did it because she apparently had an issue with white women being depicted and described as being beautiful. I'm not surprised in the slightest. So listen, guys, this is what happens when you have hardcore neo-Nazi feminists running the entertainment industry. The writers are predominantly women. If you guys don't know that, like, a lot of the writers in the entertainment industry right now in Hollywood are mostly women, and that became a recent thing. And that, as that became a thing, all of a sudden the woke nonsense became a thing, because women love this shit. They love the woke stuff. They love to virtue signal and lie to the public about how they really feel. They want everybody to think that they're such amazing progressive women, when on deep down, when they're home alone, they're thanking God that they don't look like the ugly bitches that they have to write on Netflix and whatever TV show or movie they're making. Okay, I guarantee you, they're like, yes, we're gonna virtue signal for this, but damn, I'm so glad I'm not her. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.